Can you say a little bit about what that script is? Because I think it's really interesting that it's very, very specific, which is a certain amount of apples. Like, can you share what that script is?
No.
No? Okay.
The
Hello, my name is Ria Wincaller, and I am the producer and cider MC of this weekly podcast, where we speak with makers, cider enthusiasts, and folks within the cider trade from around the world. Bringing us into episode 436 of Cider Chat, we heard
No.
the no that was spoken around the world by Agathe Lettier of Manoir d'April. This is a cidery that is based in Normandy, France. It's in the region of Pays d'Auge. It's in the town called Pendepie, which is right on the coast of Normandy, just south of Honfleur, a beautiful harbor side town. We stay there on the French cider tour. We always visit Agathe while on the French cider tour, and that just took place this past September 2024. But this particular tour, Agathe was not able to join us for her classic Norman buffet, which is part of our visit with her. We go around, we get a view of the production area, then we go into the chai, or the cellar as they call it, where the barrels of Calvados and Pommeau are. And then we go into the main tasting area where she has a nice setup where she serves a classic Norman buffet. So you have all these tables and everybody kind of just fans out, and it's a buffet setup and just really fresh ingredients. I always love the salad. It's the most basic kind of salad, but the dressing on it, and then all the cheeses and all these cups out with, or glassware I should say, to be able to try Calvados, and we finish with a little espresso. It's just magnificent, absolutely magnificent. But we missed Agathe because she was in Korea attending her son's wedding, and so she decided to join us on the French cider tour the last evening at the Eric Bordelais cider dinner. So it's kind of like these pinch me moments because, one, I'm hanging out with all these super cool people on the tour coming from all over the map, some who are enthusiasts for cider, some are commercial makers. It's just mind-boggling on that end. And then we have Eric, and you could hear his whole, well, not his whole, but a bit of that dinner conversation in last week's episode with Eric Bordelais. And then I also recorded this fireside chat later that evening with Agathe. So Eric had to go because he'd been picking, I think it was pears. Yeah, it was pears that day. Guy was pretty tired, no doubt, as anyone would be. And then the rest of us were taking our coffee or our Calvados into the living room of this hotel that we totally took over and had Agathe right there. And so what you heard was the beginning of our conversation where I asked her to talk about the apples used in Calvados. And, she's an exceptional cider maker. And she was there, so why not ask her? And her response was that resounding no. It totally caught me off guard. But her answer and the conversation that followed were fascinating, hilarious, and eye-opening, as they always are with Agathe. I have so much respect for that woman. And she's just one of those people. It's just a delight to be around because she's very witty. She has a good sense of humor. And catches this American, we're a little bit different out there in the world, off guard. I loved it. It was perfect timing. Now, you could hear more of that exchange, but it's going to be exclusively on the Cider Chat Patreon page. And that is a member page. You can find it really easy. There's a link at ciderchat.com, or just Google Cider Chat and Patreon. It'll bring you right there. And this is where patrons get access to extended interviews and bonus content. So this is a short clip that I recorded with her. But, it's going up to Patreon. If you want to hear more, definitely go there, which is all part of the theme of this week's episode in terms of giving. And I'm talking gifts. And of course, a big gift for Cider Chat are all the folks who are patrons of this podcast, because it is listener supported. That's really the only way that Cider Chat is able to stay on the air, along with some sponsorship. But primarily, it's patrons. It's listener supported. In fact, we got a donation, and that was from the folks up in Vermont at 1,000 Stone Farm. And Kyle's already a patron of Cider Chat. They felt that they were able to give a little bit more this time because Cider Chat has really helped them grow so much as a cider maker and an enthusiast. Thank you so much, 1,000 Stone Farm, Kyle, and everybody there. You're incredible. That's Kyle and Betsy. They are based in Brookfield, Vermont. So it's just a little south of Burlington. And you know that I'm definitely going to be going up there. I was looking at what they have there, the cider and the different ferments. They have a barrel-aged off-dry cider, locally forged Liberty and mixed blend. Then they have another dry-aged barrel, which Golden Russet, Kingston Black, Northern Spy, and Wine Sap. And I want to tell you, the apples of Vermont, they're different. So a number of different barrel age. Another one with Porter's Perfection, Ashmead's Kernel, and Empire. Ooh. Then they also have a little bit of a 6-month barrel aged in a gin Tomcat barrel. Well, it's actually Bar Hill Gin Tomcat barrels. And that's Wine Sap and Golden Russet. I'm really curious how that all went. I'm a huge gin drinker. I love gin so much. And they also have a Graph, which is a collaboration with Good Measure Brewing on tap, and also an early release of their 2024 harvest from Northfield, Vermont vineyard called La Crescent Piquette. Wow, right? Plus they also have beers on there. Keep your eye out for 1,000 Stone Farm. Yeah, right? If you know New England, you know Stones for sure. So it's a really awesome name. Anyways, I'm kind of digressing all over because I was blown away that these folks, on top of being patrons, sent a little more our way. And I tell you, it really, really helps this podcast and gives me the faith to keep on going on each and every week. For the past 9 years, going on to 10 years coming up in 2025. So, woo, we'll be talking about that as we move along here. It's starting to kind of like get weighted on my head that I've been doing this podcast. I'll be going into 10 years. I can't believe it. Anyways, so what we're going to be looking at this week is it's the season. It's the season of gift giving. And, it's not too late to go online and get some great gifts. And I have a list here for you. So we will be getting into that. But first, as always, we have a wee bit of news from out and about in Ciderville. Ciderville, mark your calendars now for CiderCon 2025, which will be happening February 4th in the city of Chicago. This is a premier event for the cider community, and you don't want to miss it. Plus, I've got an exclusive deal for you. Stay tuned to find out how to save $30 on your registration. Now, you might be thinking, why Chicago in February? Well, you got to know, this city knows how to make winter magical. And this year's theme at CiderCon 2025 is Cider's Balanced Future, Planet, People, and Profit, which highlights the importance of sustainable teams, the people behind every great cider. And the sessions lined up are phenomenal. Here's a sneak peek. Sherilda Summers McGee is the founder of Workplace Change, and she will be showing you how to revitalize work culture with restorative strategies. Dr. J is back once again and will be leading a hands-on workshop on building your employer brand to attract and retain top talent. And Ben Salisbury, an expert in wine sales, will teach you how to hire and train sales team members to build a winning team. These sessions are packed with actionable insights to help you grow your business and create a supportive, thriving work environment. And here's that exclusive deal I promised. Head to ciderassociation.org to register and use promo code CiderChat at checkout to save $30 on your registration. Just look for the additional registration information section and enter the code exactly as you hear it. Cider Chat, one word and 2 capital C's. Don't miss out, Ciderville. CiderCon is going to be an unforgettable time. Sign up now and let's shape the future of cider together. Go to ciderassociation.org. It's time for Who's been cross-promoting cider? It has been a busy week out there in Ciderville with the first cross-promotion coming to us from the country of Denmark, where a really cool group, there's a lot of cool things happening in Denmark. After all, it is the country that is tagged with being the most happiest place in the world to live. And this particular group is making cider, and they are called Rodings Eblets Buteseling. I had to practice that about 50 times before saying that to you. And they made a little video of their cider. They sound like they're really happy with it. They use a technique called bâtonnage, where you are stirring in the lees. And they credited Cider Chat for informing them and learning so much from the podcast. So thank you so much to everybody out there in Denmark. Keep cider going up. You are doing a fine job just bringing in the good cheer for everybody. Then we're going to go over to Hungary, where we heard from our friend Antje Gurgely at Obligate Garden Project. And she shared both to the Facebook page that she has there on for Obligate Garden Project and to the Instagram account about the cider dinners that we had on the recent French cider tour. And you should definitely check out her episode. I will put a link in the show notes to that. Then we're going to pop over to the UK. We saw Oliver Cider and Perry shared the cover photo of the cider dinner group with Eric Bordelais to the page there. SpaceTime Mead and Cider Works in Dunmore, Pennsylvania, which is the eastern side of Pennsylvania, sharing the most recent episode from the French cider tour. And then we saw Thompson Broad, which is based in Tennessee. I think it's Tennessee. Oh, man, I'm not sure now. Thompson Broad, sharing and tagging Cider Chat. They're always making cider. They're doing some cool stuff where they were talking about pressing 26 bushels of cider. So that is a lot of apples for sure. And it looks like they're kind of like in a basement that they're doing it. You should definitely follow them on Instagram. There'll be a link in the show notes to that. And then we will head back over to Europe, to the Netherlands, where we heard from Marcel. Marcel shared to a story about the Eric Bordelais dinner and titled it Michelin Star Cider Making, which I just love, Marcel. That is super cool. And if you haven't heard me talk about Marcel before, Marcel is a patron of Cider Chat, and the cidery is also was kind of like born out of the next steps to do for this farm that they have there, growing herbs and lavender and nursery. And they have since really revved it up with the cider making, and that is called de Hannenaar, which is the gardener in Dutch. Just love always hearing from Marcel. So thank you, everybody out there in Ciderville. You too can join. We're going to be coming up soon to a featured episode all about cross-promoting cider. Is it valuable? Is it worth your time? I think it is, because I get to talk about you each and every week. And it's really nice to see when cider makers out there around the world are tagging Cider Chat and sharing to your followers and guests in your tap room a little bit about Cider Chat, so that we're all keeping the education going up for everybody and informing folks about what is available, because it's all about getting people psyched. So definitely keep on rolling it out. Use the hashtag #XPromoteCider, and we will keep on talking about it probably into 2025 too, I suspect, because it is that much fun. Walking through the orchards. I'm taking my own advice, and I'm going to open this bottle of cider here. Oh, still a little bit of fizz there. This is a bottle that I had opened to have with some turkey this past weekend, because it was a holiday season. Pour a little bit for me and a little bit for you. There you go. Let's take a little sip here. Well, I want to say I was really pleasantly surprised by this cider, because it does have, in my mind, a lot of sweetness. And what was really surprising, it's Kingston Black, Roxbury Russet, and Yarlington Mill. And it is from Rootwood Cider Company, which is based in Washington State. And this is a family operation, sisters running it, some legacy family there. The Koenig, Anna Koenig, was on my Totally Cider tour to France. Don't you know it? So she sent out this big box. It came right before Thanksgiving. And of course, I couldn't stand to be looking at that box. I had to open up a bottle and get me in the mood for this talk here. Wow. And I want to say it really paired perfectly with the turkey. The sweetness melded. I mean, when you think about a Thanksgiving meal, it's a blend of some dry, the poultry, but a lot of sweetness here. A lot of times the stuffing has a wee bit of sweetness. Let's face it, Americans, we like our sweet. And this just brought it home. So well done. Thank you so much. It's going to get me through this podcast, too. I'm so glad there was just a little bit left. It has this beautiful, rich golden color to it, too. Nice hue. But how much percent is this one, too? Let's see. I know they have an online shop. It is 6.8% alcohol by volume. So that's ABV. Yay. All right. Well, let's get into it, shall we? Hey, look, tis the season. And I think we need a little bit of Rhea with cider in hand, don't we? Because I think you got to get revved up for gift giving. You got to get your mind around it. Like, what is this about? A holiday was one thing, and now it's all become one big consumer scene. But is that a bad thing after all? I don't think it is. It's nice to kind of show up for people. Maybe we need these traditions to remind each other that it's all about showing up for each other and taking that time to think about what would I love to give to my own true love or my friends or my family members. Those gifts that maybe have come your way that have really, wowed you for one reason or the other. Like, I can't believe you got this or you thought of this. I think about this one friend who gave me a mini megaphone. You put little batteries in it and you could, turn it on. In fact, I'll have to maybe bring it into the podcast at some point. But, that was this bizarre gift. But I thought, this could be a useful gift for me for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons, actually. So, yeah, these kind of weird little things that you get, or that perfect box of chocolate, or that luscious bottle of cider. I mean, it is just, I think, the perfect gift to give cider. The first thing I want to say, if you have a local cidery, go out to it. Wherever you are listening in the world right now, go seek out some of your local cideries. See if they have a club membership that you could perhaps sign someone up for. Maybe yourself too while you're at it, Give the gift to yourself. You deserve it. Or if you can't do that, get a couple bottles. Go the range. Who knows? Maybe that semi-dry cider is going to be the perfect pairing for one of the holiday meals ahead. And so it's a nice gift to give, but it's also a nice gift to bring to all the different parties that are coming up. And you actually have time. And I know out there in Ciderville now, in all the special spots in the world, we are seeing cider. You could get it. And if you can't get it there directly, well, we got you covered. You could get it online. So we're going to be kicking things off with a look at some of the incredible offerings from our Cider Going Up campaign partners, starting with the folks at Ross on Wye, Cider and Perry. The Johnson family of Ross Cider make it really easy for all of us to do online shopping, especially if you are in that territory of the world, which is England. And if you go to their website, which is shop.rosscider.com, you will be able to find such an array of options to make it super easy. So first off, you could always get your bestie a dang good bottle of Cider and Perry, get them a little package, or maybe you want to up-level it and get them a membership to the Ross Cider crew, which is where you get to work with the team there to curate your own bottles of cider to be delivered right to your doorstep. So that's an option there. So you could do the online shop for bottles and Perry, or you could just get a subscription. And you could also attend events there monthly as part of their cider club. And I want to tell you, if you hear this in time and you could do it, I would. I mean, I kind of am dreaming about this possibility of getting there for December 28th of this year, 2024, for their monthly cider club because this one is super, super amazing. It's all about this Perry that was made back in 2001. It was bottled in 2002, and it's just now being opened in 2024. That's 23 years in the making. It was produced by Kevin Minshew. He's going to be there at this cider club, along with Tom Oliver. I saw Tom in September. We were talking about this particular bottle of Perry, and just being yowed by it. And then Mike Johnson, who is the grandpapa at Raw Cider and Perry, and then he has his sons Albert Johnson and Martin. Martin is in charge of the U Tree Pub, where if you can show up, you could actually buy bottles to go right there. But, short of that, just order it online. Go to their shop, see the possibilities, and you will allow the super cider geek who loves to hyper-focus on different varietals, okay, and her name might be Rhea. This is your love poem to yourself. Do it. So Ross and Y Cider and Perry Company, fantastic. They've been longtime supporters of Cider Chat. Shoot, it feels like ever since we launched the Cider Chat Patreon page, we love them to pieces, and planning on being there at the Raw Cider Fest next year. So do stay tuned for that. Oh my goodness, I just let something out of the bag there, but here we go. So do stay tuned for that if you're interested in going on a cider tour next year to the UK and spending a day at the Raw Cider Fest. Yeah, maybe now is time to send a little email to info@ciderchat.com. Get on the wait list because that tour will be getting released in the coming month or so. And that is a nice gift for someone, too, in your life. We had a lot of folks attending the French Cider Tour this past September, and it was a surprise for a number of people on the tour as part of a birthday present. So, holiday shopping, birthday presents, it's amazing. Cider really does have us covered in so many beautiful ways. All right, I can't say enough about the Ross Cider and Perry Company. I love those people, love what they're doing, and of course, just outstanding product. We'll be returning to them coming up shortly in the coming weeks on Cider Chat. Let's go to our next provider here of wonderful holiday gifts, and that would be the folks out in London. DuckChicken Cider makes small batch dry ciders, non-sweetened, non-pasteurized, and what they call Eastern-style ciders for England. And they've been doing this since 2016 in their flat in London, or South London to be exact. They pick their apples at 3 different Kentish orchards that would otherwise have been just left to their own unused. So since 2020, they've been producing all these ciders, and they've been doing it as wild ferments. Now, it's a little hard to get their product shipped to you because they're not doing that. So, again, you got to be in the neighborhood. You got to hunt them out. And if you're going to London, because then you're going to be making your way out to West Country to go to Ross Cider and Perry Company to do that cider club, just check out DuckChicken Cider. Google that, put it in, and you'll see all the different places where they have a regular stock of their product. And one I highly recommend is called Giggle Juice. This is a Perry, a dry Perry in a can. Super fun. In fact, I cracked a can open last night that they had given me when I saw them last, and it is just outstanding. And here's another little piece. I'll put out another little thread here. There's a good chance that Duck Chicken will be coming out to the West Country to meet up with all of us on the UK cider tour for a one-night only experience. Who knows? We might be going to a cider bar too. So, yeah, let's go to Duck Chicken. Check them out. They have a great website, tell you where to get it. And sometimes you got to work at it, but some ciders and perries are really worth your time to work at it. And that is why we're talking about it today on this holiday cider gifting with ease episode. Oliver Cider and Perry Company is also based in England, specifically in Herefordshire in the West Country, and it's in the village or special spot in Ciderville called Oaklepitcher, and nobody says it better than Tom Oliver. So definitely, if you want to find out more about this maker, put in Oliver or Tom Oliver in a little search bar at ciderchat.com and listen to any one of the many episodes we have, both featuring Tom and where he is on different panel discussions. The guy has a lot to offer. He has a fun twist to everything that is just really enjoyable to listen to. And of course, with a glass in hand of some Oliver's fine cider or Perry, you got a winning ticket. Now let's talk about holiday shopping. There is a shop on site. I believe it's open on Saturdays. Always make sure that that's true. So you have a little bit of time before the holidays here to get some bottles to go if you could be there in person. If not, of course, there is an online portal. And there you could order both cases of, let's say, the Shazam cider, which is a medium cider, or a traditional dry. Perhaps you want to give somebody some cans because that's really easy to travel. Well, Tom has it too. It's called Guilty Pleasure Cider in Cans. And if you want to do a little offering where you give a bottle of cider or a couple bottles of cider and some cheese, he also has you covered there too. A specific cider called Cheddar on My Mind. And this is a blend of Yarlington Mill apples, Foxwell, and some barreled-aged Michelin and Biscay cider. So expect a very off-dry. It's only like 6%. And this pairs really well with cheese. And you could have like a whole assortment of cheese there and let your special someone in your life go through that experience. Not only is this a perfect gift, it's kind of a nice state too, I think. Anyways, Tom has you covered. Love everything that they're doing there. And guess what? This is another location that we will be visiting on the upcoming UK Cider Tour in 2025. So definitely get your name in now on the wait list. Send that email to info@ciderchat.com. I've got both a gift certificate and growlers to go as a perfect gift offering for the holidays. And this is especially if you have someone in the New York State region, specifically the west side of the Hudson River. They could be on the east side too. It's super easy to get over to Milton, New York, where Locust Grove Brewing Company is located, and they are making cider. This is a family farm, so there's orchards all around. In fact, they tend other orchards in the area. They're basically right on the water, up the hill where the tasting room is. And this is a tasting room. They have a food truck. There's beer and food and live events and all that. And cider to go in growlers. So here's a couple options. Let's say you're coming home for the holidays. You're in New York State. You're cruising up along the west side of the Hudson River. Make a stop there and grab some growlers to bring to the party. Bring it to the New Year's Eve party. Maybe you're heading to Times Square for the ball drop. Who knows? Make this one of your destinations because it's not far off of Interstate 91. If you're traveling on the west side of the Hudson River from Albany going south, it's a magnificent drive to the location. It's just so cool. It's a blend of ethnicity and old-time Hudson River Valley scene. A really, I don't know, something about going to New York, just the smorgasbord of culture that goes on there. You want to stop at every little shop along the way. I love it. So this is where the holiday shopping experience is as much fun as giving the gift itself. Once again, it's Locust Grove Brewing Company. They have gift certificates and growlers to go. What am I going to get this person? And you think, oh, well, they like cider, they like chocolate. I want to just do like a one press the button kind of order scene. And you could do that by going to SpaceTime Mead and Cider Works. The link is in the show notes to their shop, or else you could put it in your little browser on your computer and look it right up. SpaceTime Mead and Cider Works. Go to the section that says shipped, and it'll give you a list of different things to order. I want to recommend getting the Keeved cider called Leap Year. That was essentially inspired when both Dan and Lisa of SpaceTime Mead and Cider Works took the French cider tour. So they're on the French cider tour with me and a bunch of other amazing people. And Dan went back and said, I'm going to make a Keeved cider. And he did. So it's a mix of local apples from Pennsylvania. There is no sugar added no yeast. It's all wild ferment, no sulfites, and that's a very special cider because you are taking juice that has created a brown cap. That's the point where it goes through the keeved. So instead of particles dropping out of the fresh pressed apple juice, the heavy particles actually rise up in the vessel and create what is called a brown cap. And you put a little siphon through the brown cap and you siphon out the lower juice, and then you allow it to continue to ferment. And because there is so little nutrients in that juice, the fermentation stops at the point that there is still residual sweetness. And that is the signature of a keeved cider, having that residual sweetness with no need to add any other type of sweetener to it. It's just 100% apples. And the fact that he was able to do this and offer it up and just has the most coolest artwork around. The whole theme there is space and time. And for the leap year label, you got to see that alone. It says 2024, and there's a woman like a space kind of, I don't know, rodeo-looking space woman and planes going and this kind of futuristic label. She's going off of a building. I just, like she's ready to leap, right? Thus, leap year. I just love what he does with his artwork. It's super worth just checking that out. So while you're there, get the leap year, and then maybe get a dark chocolate bar, a milk chocolate bar, and pick a couple other ones too, and send this beautiful gift to folks out there in Ciderville who you just adore, and you want to turn them on to the bounty of Ciderville and all the different styles and profiles that we have to offer, along with chocolate. Yeah, find it all at SpaceTime Mead and Ciderworks. Link is in the show notes to this here episode 436 of Cider Chat. Every cidery has a story. How you started the cidery, how you're moving forward, the kind of styles you wanted to make, why you located in a particular area, and your vision going forward. That's what Cider Chat covers, and it's part of the reason why I really enjoy doing this work is meeting everyone out there in Ciderville and sharing your story with the rest of us to find out what you're making and how we could get it. In this case, we have a cidery that not only has a beautiful little cider bar in a spectacular location, it also has a kind of an interesting twist that I think would make this a fun destination for that unique trip, that unique road trip that you don't often think about, especially with everything that's going on right now with the UFOs in the sky and not, that we kind of keep on hearing out there in Ciderville. And what I'm talking about here is Taddy Bogle Cider Works, which is based in the town of Acme, Pennsylvania. It's about 45 minutes south of Pittsburgh. And back in 1965, there was an incident, and the story goes is that this like acorn-shaped sphere landed in the field, which was right down the hill from the cider bar, that Taddy Bogle Cider Bar. And folks did say that there was some like writing on it, kind of like Egyptian writing on it. And once news got out and the authorities came, they roped it off, and, you know, nobody ever got to really see what was going on there, or nobody who's going to talk about it publicly. But just down the road from the cider bar, they actually have this little monument to the UFO that landed there. And I went to visit it because I went out to speak to Kurt Hendry, who's a cider maker at Taddy Bogle. And then when I was there, I also went over to look at the spot in the field where it had landed, and then went down the road in Kecksburg to actually look at the monument, I guess, you know, like a roadside attraction. There's no cost. You just kind of drive up and you see this acorn with all this kind of writing that I don't understand. Maybe somebody out there does. But it is considered one of those unsolved mysteries, which I love. So this is your little holiday gift-giving opportunity to get a gift certificate from Taddy Bogle Cider Works, or maybe you give somebody like a silver ticket and say, the owner of this silver or gold ticket means that you get to go on a road trip with me to Acme, Pennsylvania to visit the cider bar and to check out the model of this alleged UFO and just have a fun day of it, especially, kids who are doing science projects, or even us big kids who are kind of intrigued by the world as it is, and some of these unsolved mysteries. Plus, you get to drink some great cider too. So check it out. That's Taddy Bogle Cider Works, based in Acme, Pennsylvania. Link in the show notes. One destination that is definitely on my bucket list is getting myself to Bent Ladder in Doylestown in the state of Ohio. I had both Chris and Matt Wodrowska on the podcast. That was back on episode number 392, so not too long ago. They had sent me some delicious bottles of their cider. They have this nice heirloom series. And the thing is that you have Chris there. He is out working the orchard, and they actually have some Malus Seversii in the orchard. And if you are in the know of different varieties of apple, most of us are growing Malus domestica. So that is like the domesticated apples that we have, like Macintosh and, Baldwin and whatnot. But if you go to Kazakhstan, that's where you will find Malus Seversii. So those are kind of like the wild apple forests of Kazakhstan. And they have some of the Malus Seversii growing in their orchard. So that alone is super cool. Seeing the tasting room would just be wonderful. They also make wine too, and they have gift cards, so gift certificates to go. You could order it online, in $20 segments, $50 segments, or you could just ship some cider and try it. And definitely check out their heirloom series. It's just exquisite. They're doing a fine job. This is a cidery that you want to kind of keep on your notepad to check out. Like I said, I had them on the podcast. I had a really nice conversation with them. You should definitely check it out. And you'll find the link in the show notes to their online shop. Right next door is Rittman Orchards, and that is like it's a farm shop, right? So they're offering vegetables and different cool things to buy, probably pies too. So this is a total destination location to stop at in Ohio. So if you're doing some kind of East-West Coast trip, or someone in your family who's doing that, get them a gift certificate. What a nice little stop along the way to take a break and check out some amazing cider, get into the vibe of the orchard there. It's just stunning. Go to the show notes for this here episode 436 of Cider Chat and find the link to Bent Ladder's online shop to get their ciders and gift certificates. At Esoterra Cider Works, you could both gift some cider, and you could also gift a membership to what is called an Indiegogo campaign. And this is for Esoterra Cider Works, which is based out in Durango in Colorado. So that's the Four Corners region of the U.S. And they have just recently moved out of their previous site in Dolores over into Durango, and they've been building what is called the Arboretum. And this is a campaign, so you have different memberships that you could join to help them build this amazing, amazing project. I mean, it's really something where they have 200 different varieties of apple trees, all part of the Montezuma and La Plata counties. This is a region that we don't hear a lot about, because we're always kind of like look to the east or the west or some of the big states in between. And Colorado is definitely a big state, but this section of Colorado in that kind of like high desert territory, not so much. And yet there's a lot of old orchards, old apple trees there that folks are really trying to save. And that's what they're doing at Esoterra Cider Works, along with making some amazing cider. And I just featured them on the Ultimate Guide to Pairing Cider with Thanksgiving, that episode just a couple episodes back, talking about some of their offerings. So I want to recommend that you go to the show notes or just look up Esoterra Cider and then click on the Arboretum and see what they're doing there. Order some cider, because even if you can't gift the campaign to somebody, this is a way to kind of tie folks into this project and turn them on to some of their quality cider that they're making with these very unique apple varieties and techniques. Once again, that's Esoterra Cider Works, based in Durango, Colorado. This is a good segue to jump over the border for a moment into Canada and talk about a new member, or I should say partner, of the Cider Going Up campaign page at ciderchat.com. And that's the folks at Heman's Cellar. This is a family farm, and it's kind of like Rittman Orchards a bit because they offer so much. They have a nursery, a bakery, and all that. But Tom Heman and Susan Judd were both on the French cider tour with me. And a couple years back, they got into making cider because they had all this product there, and they saw this. They saw the site, what to do, and they're really cranking it out now. So what you do is you go to heman.ca. That's HEEMAN.ca. And that's the homepage. And you kind of scroll down, and on the left side, you see a little box that says Shop, Cider, and Mead. And you'll see right there that there's an option to get a gift membership to their cider club. So it's an annual fee, a one-time payment, and that is a spectacular gift to give to somebody. So this is the point where you start leaving little hints around your house, or maybe you have a conversation with a friend where you exchange gifts, or a family member, and you say, there's this podcast episode on Cider Chat. They're talking all about cider gifts, and, wow, some really good ideas. When they were talking about that offering at Heman's Cellar, I was just starting to get so thirsty thinking about what I could get. They had this bottle of Porter's Perfection there. They have a bottle of Dabinets. They have this gift club membership to do too. I mean, that sounds really delicious. Yeah, someday maybe I'll get myself some of that beautiful Kingston Black cider that they're making. And I also hear that there's a Dalgo crabapple with malolactic fermentation at Heman's too. Yeah, boy, I wish I could get some of that. You got to work it. Nobody's going to gift you this stuff unless you tell them what you want. We're going to have a link in the show notes to Heman's, so you could go right to this page and make it really easy for you. And we're really psyched that they became part of the Cider Going Up campaign page. Just like you too can. Just go to the Cider Chat Patreon page and sign up today. And who knows, next year you might be on this buying cider for the holidays episode. I sure hope so, because it's a lot of fun. I know what you're thinking. You're wondering, dang, can I get a selection of ciders from all over the map, or do I really have to go to just one location and buy cider from that spot and that spot and that spot? Well, if that's what you're wondering, look no further, because an online bottle shop is here and ready to serve you, and it is called Press Then Press. Yeah. They have so much to offer. In fact, it says right on their website, great gifts for cider lovers. Looking for a perfect gift for cider enthusiasts in your life? Want to give someone an introduction to cider as a gift? You came to the right place. And they have stocking stuffers like t-shirts and hats. They have some books from 33 Mugs. We just love Dave and his work there. Also a cider gift card that you could send, a cider tumbler, and so much more. They even have a cider club. So that's kind of like a subscription box that comes out quarterly, and they'll make curated cider boxes just for you. They are just so easy to work with. That's Story and Eric. I've known them both now for a couple of years. They've even come to my special spot in Ciderville. I've traveled to France with Story back in 2018 on the first French cider tour, and I just want to say I just absolutely adore everything they're doing. They're just the right people to be running Press and Press. We're super lucky to have them. Check out their online cider shop today. It's really easy. Just put in pressthenpress.com and go to their collections of cider gifts to buy. Definitely use it to make your holiday shopping easy. I'm going to take this moment now to pop over to Japan, because I know there's a number of people out there in Ciderville who are based in Japan who are listening. And I want you to know that you too can order cider online right from within your own country, thanks to Insider Japan. That's Lee Reeve, who heads that whole business, and he has what is called Japan Cider Market. And that's the website, japancidermarket.com. and they offer ciders both from the U.S. and the U.K. The selection, though not huge, is spectacular. So definitely check it out. All you have to do is go to the link that says our easy cider shopping list. That's what we want for the holidays, our easy cider shopping list. He's just so brilliant. So a great guy to support. Do check it out. Go to japancidermarket.com. There'll be a link in the show notes. And he's been a long time supporter of Cider Chat at the Cider Going Up campaign page at ciderchat.com. Even the American Cider Association has swag. I mean, it goes to figure, right? They're putting on CiderCon every year, and they are the major lobby group for brands in the U.S. So check out their site where you could get tank tops and T-shirts and hoodies and caps with CiderCon logo or the American Cider Association logo, and join the organization, because that is a great gift that keeps on giving. They are lobbying for everyone out there in Ciderville, in the US of A, and I think kind of beyond. Their reach is really beyond, especially if you attend CiderCon, which will be taking place in Chicago coming up this February 2025. It'll be the 4th through the 7th. I'm going to be there, and I hope to see you there too. And yeah, get some swag for Christmas so you are ready. You know, the nice thing about going to CiderCon, you wear that CiderCon t-shirt and you already have half your outfit all set. What more do you need? You know, it really fills me up when I think about the folks who are involved with the Cider Going Up campaign page at ciderchat.com, because they are really helping to support the podcast. I've had a Patreon page for the past 9 years. I have these folks at the commercial level and then a whole bevy of people at other levels too. And each and every penny really goes towards keeping this podcast rolling out to you each and every week. One goal that I have is to try to bring it up to a baseline sustainable level. And I still haven't reached that goal after 9 years, which is a bit disheartening. So if you, in your holiday gift giving, can look this way and become a patron today, that would make a really big difference for this podcast as we move forward. So do consider that as you are writing your list, and I hope that you consider that Cider Chat has been nice and helpful in your walk in life through cider as you are moving forward. And if you need a couple more gift ideas, we got them too. Go to the show notes for this here episode 436. And besides all the brands that we just talked about, you're going to see a couple pages there for more gifts for aspiring cider makers. There is a cider maker's starter kit, and it begins with by downloading an equipment list. It's a downloadable PDF right at the Cider Chat website, and will help you build a custom gift pack with all the essential tools for making cider. It's all right there. Just go to the page that says Cider Chat Swag Store, look at the little bar that drops down, and click on the link that says cider making equipment. Of course, when you get equipment, sometimes you need a little bit more knowledge. So we have Cider Books, a page dedicated for cider books. We have the different topics such as cider making books, orchard care, apple identification, tasting cider, regions and reviews, children apple books, and books on pears, quince, medlar, and the only book I know of its kind on Sorbus domestica, or as we would say in France, Corm. Yeah. We got it all really easy, just at a click of the little keyboard or the phone, and you could get your holiday shopping done super, super easily. And I hope that you do, because time is moving forward, but you still have plenty of time to get your orders in today, making it easy and stress-free so that you could enjoy this time with a cider in your hand. And before I roll out of here, I want to say I heard from Kurt Henry at Teddy Bogle Cider Works, and he made mention that they have Apple tokens. These are little hard coins or little pottery pieces that you could purchase too, and you exchange that for a glass of cider. That would make a really wonderful stocking stuffer. So make your way down to Teddy Bogle Cider Works in Acme, Pennsylvania, and tell them Cider Chat sent you. And with that, I leave you here. This is Rhea Windcaller signing off for now. Looking forward to seeing you in Ciderville.
We like cider, we like ponds, we love orchards and having fun. There is a reason why we do it like this. Oh yes there is.
There is a reason why we do it like this.
Oh yes there is.
There is a reason why we drink it like this.
Oh yes there is a reason. We like walking through the orchards, dancing in the streets, smelling all the blossoms, kicking up our feet. We like cider, we like ponds, we like orchards, having some fun. There is a reason why we do it like this. Oh yes there is. There is a reason why we do it like this.
Oh yes there is.
There is a reason why we drink it like this.
Oh yes there is.
There is a reason. We like walking through the orchards, dancing in the streets, smelling all the blossoms, kicking up our feet. Oh yeah. We like cider.
Oh yes we do.
We like ponds.
Oh yes we do.
We love orchards, having some fun. There is a reason why we do it like this.
Ba-da-da-dum.
There's a reason why we do it like this.
Ba-da-da-dum.
There is a reason why we drink it like this.
Ba-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-dum.
We like walking down the orchards, dancing in the streets, smelling all the blossoms, kicking up our feet.
Oh yeah.
We like cider.
Ba-da-da-dum.
We like ponds.
Oh yes we do.
We like orchards, having some fun.
Yeehaw!